Alright, let's get to another round from my recent tournament. This is the round 4. I'm white, facing opponent rated 1988. Alright, so I've played him before. He likes to play a very solid chess, except here, bang, Queen's Gambit accepted. Probably the first time I faced this in a real game, like a classical game. Well, I went knight f3, of course e4 is the option, e3, and they play knight f6. I want to get my pawn back. This is the main line of the Queen's Gambit accepted. Here they played e6, an alternative is to go bishop here. And then, well, threat is this, but e6 takes care of that, and well, your bishop is more active, but your queen side is a bit more vulnerable, especially this pawn. So it is what it is. Black still wants to play c5 too, but for instance, they have to at some point deal with this threat, maybe instantly. How do you deal with there? Anyways, this is the main line, e6. Bang. I take my pawn, and black plays c5, so they are informing us that they'd like us to take here, and then we reach a complete symmetry. Of course, if white takes, then black might take here, and well, white loses the castling rights, but without the queens, it's hardly a problem. But of course, white is not interested about that. So I'll castle, and they play knight c6. a6 is more played, but this is a played move too. And then, I don't know, I could do many things. I decided, let's play a little aggressive queen e2, informing that we are okay with the takes. Well, maybe I could take instantly, but this is the main line. We come in, black does something, and then we take with the pawn. And then we are in a kind of classical isolated queen's pawn position here. It is weakness, but also white has a lot of activity too, so it would be a, well, white is playing for a kingside attack here, and or sometimes it could push the d pawn in and the proper moment. Anyways, this would be a different game. Our game went queen e2, a6. Black says no. I want to play b5, put the bishop here. Well, I go here and say I'd like to take the pawn with the discovery on the queen. And black says, I don't care. It's the bishop. Well, I did take the pawn, but the problem of course is that after the queen moves out of the way, I can't really keep the pawn because the bishop is hanging. And to be honest, even if the bishop was not hanging, it would not be so easy to defend. I mean, I guess something like if the bishop was somewhere else, we could use the queen then, but no b4s to actually keep it solidly. Alright, so I went here. Guess this is the alternative, but I didn't really want to be with the bishop here facing this pawns already this way, and we can pretty much assume that the black king is gonna go there, so this is lining up with the kingside castle already. Of course it blocks the rook here, but it already did its job here. So in a game, black took here. Alternative interesting would be to go knight b4. This is I think the most played move, takes. But this is informing that I'd like to take your light squared bishop, and well, most people have played a4 here, like Topalov and Vityukov and Sokolov, so that's the right move. There's also some chances you could maybe snipe this, but knight has to come back, and then you get to keep your pawn. This has been played once, but black won it, and it's definitely I think bishop b7, bishop d7. This is probably better, so we can't be taken. And then white has to again play b4. And well, he has 3 pawns. White has 3 pawns for a piece, but computer says no, not even close to enough. In a practical game, I don't know how easy it actually would be to play with the pawns. I don't really see an easy way. And we have to be very careful we don't drop the bishop queen at some point. Like, for instance, instantly playing b4. I guess you could go still here. But you'd probably drop the pawn after some take there. Or something. Anyways, I was not sure what I would have done if this happened. Would I have taken there? Well, did not happen. Black took here, which is the most played move. And then I played also the most played move. Even though I had to admit I was completely out of book. So these were all like pretty much winged during the game. But I want to put pressure here and like if they take, then we're on the A pawn. And that is actually the best move here. My opponent played b4, but this is the best move. And then the computer says just castle, drop the pawn, who cares? But somehow like you have enough compensation here. But who knows, who knows? Something like this, bang, bang, bang. There. I mean, the computer says I think this is zeros. Yeah, actually it gives black a slight advantage. Well, okay, zeros. But black played here. I don't know. It's, we don't really get much, but I get the bishops pretty well here. And the big trump card here is that there's a lot of people lined up on the C file quite loosely. So my plan, of course, is to bring a rook there really fast. And they also, well, b3, we want to put the bishop here. So the batteries are pointing at that way. So, well, that happened there and there. Well, black starts to take away stuff from there. And then I'll just bring the knight there. There's a really good square for the knight here. Rook has a nice square there. Only thing we have to be worried about is that like this knight ever doesn't get here to put some pressure here, but here he does not have time. Alright, so he went here. And I'll come in the knight. And apparently we are still following some game. I went with 95. This also looked really tempting. This was played in the other game too. But yeah, this also looked tempting, but like I don't think black can go here, or maybe he can, but it looks very risky. Computer says you can calmly go here though. And then if white does something like this, discover check possibilities, you can just take here. And apparently now this is even wrong because bang, 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 bang. And then black has rook for, and 2 pieces for a queen. Enough, black is by winning. But it's not really a threat. You just have to calmly say that no, we don't worry. So here best move is just to keep the bishops alive and keep on going. Well, I decided that, well, that this is better, and it is better. This is the best move. Putting pressure here, but they went queen out of the way. Okay, I probably should have played the knight here, but me being what I am, I saw that I can win a pawn, so bang, 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 thank you. Knight c5 was probably, or the knight here was probably better. Puts a kind of a nasty threats on the board too, and black structure is a kind of miserable. Like if you take here, white takes this way, and queen is gonna get squeezed, and yeah, it's not fun. Well, I bailed out here, bang, 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 bang. It's good too. White is basically winning though, but they go here, and now black has the same pattern here and here. But I defended with the knight f1. You never get checkmated with the knight on f1. Once again, proven true. I did not get checkmated today. Oh, and you will see. There's gonna be a lot of pressure on my king side. A lot of it. Already is, and it's gonna increase. So knight jumped to the center, and then I went here. Well, I wanted to build my batteries back here and go for attack 2. This was probably, I didn't really consider this, but I did consider the move that they should have played afterwards. But this basically prevents the knight c3, which would have been best move after this one. And just sticking there, I have to take. And then, well, my pawns are kind of blockaded on the dark squares, and they have this semi-nasty pawn on c3, and some kind of like now bishop there and try to hold, and would not be an easy way to win this. And computer agrees that this is the best try for black. And that's why rook c1, just to stop this, would have been better. Didn't consider it. I did see that this would have been annoying though during the game. Luckily for me, my opponent, I mean, but the computer does give white +1 here, but here the advantage is much bigger. Well, obviously, black's going all out. Rook's lifting up here. Bishops and the queen are already here, and the knight's already active too, and they wanna say checkmate. Well, I wanted to trade some pieces and also put the knight there as an extra blockader and like hope that they take, and then I'll take this way, and I hopefully am solid enough to not die. And well, here black still should have done this though. Or even taken there. They chose poorly. Didn't want to trade obviously, but there's a big problem with this move. That the knight has no squares. Well, they were h5. And then I could take this. It is fine, but it's a kind of a mess. I was going to do it, but for instance, this is some of the computer's lines, but these lines look dangerous though. Like the bishops are here. I'm up a piece, but bishops are here. This is coming here, and the rook's here. And how are we gonna deal with this? Computer says like just trade the bishops. Bang bang. They'll take there. King goes here, and is safe. Like rook is coming here. Meh. And we just calmly go. Well, okay, queen b5. Let's trade queens. So here we have to attack the rook, and they can do a discovered check there, but we just run away with the king, and somehow we're fine, and we are up a piece, and we are fine, but looks scary. I did see though that I can play here h4. I want to take the knight, which still is out of squares, except bang. But I want to take this way and keep this blockaded here. The problem with this square is that I do have the tactic here, bang, 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 which I saw while playing h4, and it is the best move. Well, black of course needs to do something, so they banged here, bang, bang, bang. I took the knight, they took the knight. And well, they did manage to wreck my king side up, but we did get rid of a lot of pieces while doing it. Then I saw also another nice move I found knight b5, bishop b5. Also computer says this is also the best move. So I think I played this game really well. With the point is that if they take, we have a rook check, king there, queen check. If you block with the pawn, this is instant mate. And if you do the encroachant, well, f5, we do the encroachant, g6, queen check, and check, and mate, for instance. So, black king is in a big trouble there. Well, my opponent tried to block. No rooks in, thank you. But of course, this guy is blocked here too. But here I had to admit at some point I was actually thinking that I should go for this, trade the queens. With the same idea that they go here. Well, or if they take the b3, I'd have the checkmate here again. Or, well, f5 is to checkmate too. Of course, there is a bit of a problem with the queen e5. That is, we get checkmated. Not good. Took me ages to actually see that, oh, might get checkmated here if I do it. I did see this, that this is a possibility too. And that's what I did. Bang. Sack the rook. They took. I'll check. And take on f7. Of course, I had to calculate that this is not a perp. They had a lot of checks around here, like here, all kind of nasty things. But I have the bishop f1 block, releasing the rook, but there is a mate threat here. Well, they checked here. I go king h2, and then queen is covering this, king is covering this, bishop is covering this, so no more checks. Well, in a game they took here, defending the mate. I also looked, this I saw afterwards, like I also started to already panic a little bit, like I missed the resource here that they could defend the mate this way. This was missed during the sacking moment here. Of course, I knew that if I have the bishops against the rook, I'm not losing ever, but... And also, well, I did to come up with that, well, g6 apparently is the best move here. This is the mate. Here you have to even do a, I don't know, you have to do it, but you can do a knight bishop sack here, and then black can't actually cover the checkmates here and there without sacking the queen. I didn't see that one. I was thinking that this is good enough. I go here. They have a check here. I go king g1. King goes back here and no checks, and we are doing stuff around here, and we must be doing fine here too, and we are quite is completely winning. Well, in a game they took this way, defending, which leads to a nice checkmate here. I took a check. Well, if king goes to the back rank, mate in 1, so king comes here. And then I get a nice combination, and my opponent was nice enough to let me do it. Bishop sack, distracting the queen. They took, and I get the checkmate. Nice. So overall, actually kind of happy with this game too. Even though I did miss some parts, but can't never see everything. Anyways, that was the round 4. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna skip the 5th round and the last round game because it was a bit of a non-game. It was short. I messed up my lines over the draw in the worst position, hoping that my opponent accepts the opponent is higher rated gambit, and they did. It was a short draw. I ended up with a 3.5 out of 5. 4th place, of course, out of prizes. Surprise, surprise. Gained a few rating points. Not a great success, but I played some nice games. Anyways, thanks for watching these, and until next time.